We're good.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Monday night mix up. Tonight's topic is all about you, me, who. So you're going to want to write this down. This is the website. It's you, YOU, me, ME, who, WHO.com. You put all that together. So I discovered this website. Well, first of all, I'll back up and tell you guys a little bit of like a backstory to it. So last year during COVID, I'm not somebody that has a lot of events all the time because I do work full time. Sometimes in the summer, though, I will go out and try to find events just so I can move some of the stock that I have. Now, I don't know if you can see behind me, but this is all of my Scentsy stock I have. I want to preface this with I never ever spend my family money on Scentsy. All of this stuff you see, I got either free or half price by putting my bulk orders in a party, and that's how I accumulate stock. So I think that's super important to note. You never, like, we are in a party planning company. You do not have to go out and spend your money to have stock. It doesn't work like that. So don't do it. The only time that I will go out and buy things, for full PRV is if I have back-to-back events. So for instance, if I have an event and it sells $400 and I have an event within the next, month, I might then take the $200 to part of the money I made at my event and reinvest it back into my business. And I know Donna has done that before and Jessica has done that before. That's how you can keep your inventory quickly growing. But again, that's money that you made off of your stock and you're just reinvesting it. So I think that's really important to note as we're talking about this. I don't want anyone to get the message that we are encouraging you to go out and buy inventory because you should not have to do that. So last year, all the events around here were really canceled. And then what happened was a lot of things started selling out on Scensy's like website and workstation. I mean, I had never seen something so crazy. I've only been doing this 4 years, but there was things like black raspberry vanilla, I think sold out at one time, just like crazy things. Like we barely had any bars for a short amount of time. We were out of all sorts of warmers. And my customers were like, what the heck? When they would message me ordering a 6-pack of wax, and I'm like, hey, 4 out of 6 of your bars are out of stock, they would kind of be upset. And I don't blame them. So what I started to do was I created a Google sheet and I went through all of my inventory I had in my house and I would send it to customers privately. You can only do these things privately. You cannot post on social media. You cannot put it on, a website, anything like that. It's got to all be one-on-one communications. And I was like, hey, I have some of these bars in stock. Here's what else I have in stock. Let me know if you want anything on this list. And Scentsy was also taking a super long time to ship items. So this was a way that I could ship things to people quicker because I was controlling the shipping, because I was shipping it through USPS instead of waiting on Scentsy's warehouse to ship it. So that's kind of how it got started, was me creating the Google Sheet and doing it that way. And then the Google Sheet was great, but it started to get a little overwhelming to me because there's not like a real organized way to organize your things, if that makes sense. Like on Google Sheets, you have like these basically they're called sheets down at the bottom. They're kind of like tabs. And so I made like a tab and it said wax and warmers. Then it said wax, and the next tab said warmers. Then the next tab said cleaning. Well, what was happening was my customers like didn't understand, because most of them are older ladies that have no idea how to use Google Sheets. I mean, I'm in my 30s and I literally had to teach myself how to use the Google Suite for my full-time job. So they didn't know how to like tab over. So all they were seeing was like the first tab, which was wax, and that's all they thought I had. So I was like, okay, this is working, but I need to make it like a better system. And I saw somebody share this website and it's called YouMeWho. So I was like, all right, I'm going to check it out. So the purpose of YouMeWho is, number one, keep track of your inventory. So when you have, and it doesn't have to be an overwhelming amount of things. It could just be like to keep track of what you do have on hand at your house. It's also a way that you can share your inventory with customers privately. I can't stress that enough, that it has to be on a one-to-one basis. And also it's a way that you can have an inventory list on the go. I can't tell you how many times people message me or they'll see me at work and they're like, hey, do you have any Johnny Appleseed at your house? And I'm like, oh, I'll check when I get home. And then I forget because, I'm getting home at 8 o'clock at night. Well, now on my YouMeWho app, all I got to do is send them the link and they can check for themselves if I have any of that. Or I can check it on my end and send and be like, yeah, I have 2 bars at home. And they're like, oh, hey, I want that. So it's a really great way to keep track of everything and be able to share it. Now, YouMeWho, there's not an app for it. So it works on browsers. You can use it on an iPad, desktop, laptop, or just on your mobile device. It gives real-time updates. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say Melissa is shopping. You guys, it emails me that Melissa clicked on my link to shop. It's like the super craziest thing. She doesn't even have to like do anything besides put her information in, and it emails me, and it doesn't even like tell her that it emailed me. And then Melissa put like, let's say 6 bars of wax in her cart. She hits checkout. It's going to email me again that she checked out. And then when Melissa pays, all I have to do is click a button and it takes all of that stuff out of my inventory. And the neat thing is like, let's say Melissa's shopping and she's claimed some stuff. And then let's say Shar is shopping and she's claimed some stuff, or let's say Shar goes in there and it will say like, hey, this is pending. So you're never going to have like the problem where like Melissa and Shar both want the same thing. Because as long as Melissa has it in her cart, it like secures it and says like, hey, somebody else wants this. But you have that option to put them on a waiting list. So like, let's say Melissa has Johnny Appleseed in her cart and Shar wants a bar of Johnny Appleseed. Shar can like click on this wait list button, and then it tells me that she's wanting that bar too. Well, that's a bar in season. So all I have to do is go to my website and order it. So it's a really neat thing. And let me get back up my notes. So this also compliance. I know when it first came out, there was a lot of chatter on like the director and star director pages, and they're like, they were tagging Chuck Thompson, who is our chief, kind of like the compliance officer. And he was like, we're looking into it, but he's come back to say, as long as it's shared privately, it's compliant. It's also neat because it does not store any of your customers' private information. So when Melissa is done shopping and she clicks checkout, it emails me and it's like, Melissa has these items in her cart. Here's her email address. Then what I do is I use a third-party website such as PayPal, Square, Facebook Pay to request that amount from Melissa. So Melissa is not having to put her credit card information anywhere on the site, which is really cool. I know a lot of my older customers really like that because then I can get on the phone with them and I can get their credit card information one-on-one. So there are 2 plans. You can get the free basic plan. The free basic plan is really great because you can play around with it and see if it's going to work with your business. So they don't like make you right away pay the money to see if it's going to work or not. And I like that because sometimes I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And then I get on there and I'm like, this isn't for me. So I think that's really neat. They also have something called an essentials plan. So this is new. It is $5 a month. And that is like a yearly fee. So you have to pay the $60 upfront to get it of $5 a month. Or if you don't want to commit to a full year, it's $8 a month. So I'll repeat that again because it's kind of confusing. $60 a year. That would be a better way to put it. $60 a year up front, or you can pay $8 on the monthly plan. When you go to sign up for this paid plan, they automatically put you in a 14-day trial. So you have to go ahead and put in your credit card information, but then they're going to automatically enroll you in a 14-day trial. So that way you can see like all the features that they offer on their essential plan. And if it's not for you, as long as it's within the 14 days, they will give you your money back. So I was like, this is going to work for me. I want to sign up. And then they emailed me and they're like, oh, you have 14 days to make sure this works for you. And I thought that was really neat. So you're not like throwing your money, you know, out the door right away. And then I already told you guys that they do not have an app. Okay, so now I'm going to screen share and I'm going to kind of show you how I have it set up and kind of show you like the functionality side of the website. Okay. So here's the website right up here again, YouMeWho.com. You go over here to log in. And then you can also connect it to your Facebook. Connecting it to your Facebook, it doesn't mean like it's going to share that with your Facebook friends. Oh, I'm on the wrong account. Apparently it's not on my Facebook account. But sometimes I like it because I get real confused as to, just like right now, what like all my passwords are and whatnot. I have a lot of passwords between this and work, my full-time job. Okay, so I'm under my account. And again, I'm signed up for the paid version. So a lot of things, you know, as you're checking things out and you're like, okay, where's this option? It might be because I'm in the paid version and you're on the free version. So just keep that in mind when you do go and are exploring this. So when you go right to the website, this is what you're going to first see. And you'll see there's Sensi right there. So up here at the top, you have my list. And you can create and you can go in and you can name your list. So you can say like inventory, you could say clearance, whatever you want it to say. Okay. And then you're going to press this plus button here and you can add items. So this is what's really cool. Let's say that I want to add this bar of Johnny Appleseed. Well, right now it's in the catalog. So all I have to do is go from catalog and down here to Sensi. And all I got to do is type in Johnny Appleseed. And it's going to right here, if I click on that, and then I click here to add it, it adds it automatically. So literally it's just finding it and clicking a button. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Like it's very minimal work on your side. And you can do it for any item that you have that's in the catalog. And they update things pretty frequently, like Faithful Friends is already on there. That was the Lady and the Tramp bars that were just for sale. You could add that on there. Okay, so whatever you have in your inventory, you can add it right there. Now, let's say you want to put a club bar in here that you happen to have and you're like, I'll put this in my inventory because I don't really like it anymore. We'll say Coffee Tree, which by the way, is not going to be available for claiming because it's my favorite set, but we'll just pretend. So let's say like Coffee Tree is not in the catalog anymore. Okay. So what you can do is go back to add new items and then you can add a single item and you can add an image and it's going to bring up a camera. Now I'm on my computer, so it's showing like it wants me to upload a file. But when I'm on my phone, it literally, if I press this camera button, it turns on my camera on my phone and it wants me to take a picture of this. So my people have an image to look at. So then you add the image there. And then you put in the name. So I would type in Coffee Tree Wax. You can put a description in. So if you want to get real technical, you can like put on there all the notes that's in there. And then you add it. Why is it doing that? Yep, there it is. So then what's cool too is that like Johnny Appleseed. So let's click on that. if I scroll down, it automatically brings up the price right here, $6. Now there is a way, that's the image. I know there's a way that you can switch their prices too. I'll have to go back to my list and show you guys. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second and see if anyone has any questions of what I've shown you so far. So if you have a question, you can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself to ask. Shar says, how much a month for using it? So it's $60 a year, or you can pay $8 a month. So if you do the $60 a year, it's $5 a month technically. Now, this is a tax write-off for your business. So make sure you keep a record of that and you put that, you know, on your tax document at the end of the year. Can you keep track of how many you sold and how many are left? That way you see what sells the most. Elizabeth, that's a really good question. I honestly have not messed around with it enough to know that, but I do think like that we'll go to my list here. I'll show you guys like everything I have, how I have it set up. And I do think there is a way we'll try it out and see. I think there's a way that shows you like what exactly you're selling.
Yeah, because one thing that I do that I notice, it helps me keep track of what I sell the most at vendor events. And so I have Excel right now and I type in like sold 20, have 5 left, and I update that every time I get in new inventory and every time I sell stuff.
Yeah, I know you can put like, if I had 6 Johnny Appleseed bars, I can put that right on there. So I mean, that would be a great feature to have. Melissa asked too, does it give a place for quantity? Yeah, so I'll show you guys my list. So here's my list. So there's an all button here. And then there's like these tabs you can add. So I added a tab for wax. My computer's going really slow, but then you can see all the wax I have. And you'll see like I have some that aren't in the catalog. So I made sure to go in and take pictures of those. So I have them listed there. And then you'll see where I have the quantities. So it says apricot vanilla Scentsy bar. If I click on it, quantity, so I can change the quantity here and then the price. I know Melissa was talking earlier about how she charges $5 at her vendor events for all of her bars. I do the same. And then for my in-stock items, I also do the same. So I sell them all as $5. That's just a way that I have found like a lot intrigues a lot of people because they think they're getting a great deal. So let's say like I'm at a vendor event and I sell this. So it's not like it was claimed in the system. All I have to do is go in here and I can delete it. So if I hit delete, it'll be gone. So yeah, I have it like all organized by tabs. So I have wax, full-size warmers, mini warmers, pods, scent packs. Like I literally tried to break it down the best I could. And I like it because the tabs, like it's still giving you tabs like Google Sheets does or like Excel does. But I like how the tabs are at the top. Like my customers that really have a hard time understanding Google Suite, I feel like, is it Suite or Suite? I think it's Google Suite. But I like this because I feel like they can easily access it. Like a lot of my customers, I feel like have been able to like click on the different tabs and see what I'm talking about. Now let's click on manage transactions and see what happens. Oh yeah, so Elizabeth, when I clicked on manage transactions, it takes me to this dashboard and it tells me right here, like what is my popular things. So that is really cool. I've never really looked into this whole stuff a lot. So the dashboard will show you that. It'll also show you how many orders you have and then how many claims you also have. And I believe you can like export all of this into Excel. And it'll show you too, like how many items you actually have in your inventory. So that might be helpful at tax time as well. And it tells you like how many different customers you have. So if you click up here on triage, Lorraine, my customer, she just claimed these this week. So because she claimed them, now I can either, like, let's say I invoiced Lorraine and she didn't pay, I could cancel her claim and restock them. And because she did pay, what I can do is I can say that it's paid for. And she paid for all claims in this order. So when I hit OK, it's going to take those things out of my inventory automatically for me. So that is one step that you have to do once they pay. You do have to go in. But again, like as soon as she claims it, it will show that it's like claimed. It's not going to let multiple people keep claiming it until you either go in and restock it or you mark it as sold. And then here's my order tab. And it shows her name. And then I can see, like, it gives me all of her information, which is pretty cool. So I'm done with her. I can archive her order. So she got a shimmer hand soap. And now when I go back, move you guys over here. When I go back to my body items, you'll see that there's no more shimmer hand soap in here anymore. So it automatically deletes it out, which is really nice. Okay, let's go back over here and I want to show you guys how you can make a tab. So up here at the top right here, it says set tab. And that's where you can name them custom names. So I went in and I made like a tab that said wax, and then I made a tab that said warmer. Because I feel like what happens is if you're just putting all this stuff in one tab, like it said I have over 400 items here. That's going to be very overwhelming for a customer. If you got wax and you got hand soap and you got laundry detergent all together, like they're going to be overwhelmed. So that's why I kind of like the tab button where you can just easily create a tab. And there you go. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Or what would you like me to show you on here?
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you're doing an event, do you have like this pulled up on like a tablet or laptop or something? And when someone orders something, you just tap it in and you go ahead and mark it as a sale? Or do you do all of that after the event?
So Kristen, that is a great question. Now, if you're at an event like Melissa and you're like crazy busy, I feel like it's going to be super hard to sit there and try to like check all of this out. So I actually have weekly events coming up during June, July, and August for our farmers market. So and I'm going there by myself. So my plan is I'm probably just going to inventory everything afterwards. And the thing is, like, I'm emailing this out to my customers typically once a week, but it's not like a huge thing if I don't send the email. So it's not like, I mean, unless they're going back to an old email, it's not like really people are seeing my document. So it's kind of nice. I can hold it back until I know that it's ready to go back out, and then I can send the link back out again. So I would probably do it after. But if you're somebody that can multitask, or you're at an event that's indoors and you have really good Wi-Fi, you could do it during then. It's just really up to your preference. Melissa said she's excited to give this a try. Is this phone friendly or better on computer? So Lisa, I find that it's both. I find that if I'm going through and adding inventory, I have a lot of discontinued bars. So like I said, if it's not in a catalog anymore, you have to like take pictures of all those things. I do believe some of the fall winter stuff is still on here, but some of it is not. So like taking the photos is much better on my phone. Otherwise, what I have to do on my computer is I have to go and like find the image of it, save it, then go and upload it. So when I'm adding inventory, I like to do it on my phone. I personally like to do everything on a computer, but my life is very chaotic. So a lot of times I do have to utilize my phone. And I don't find that super hard on the phone. Like I feel like having the browser capability and not like an app capability makes it great to go between both. How do you keep tracks of events? Oh yeah. So Lisa had the same question too. And I think it's just like, you know, like Elizabeth said, she has the Excel sheet and she's trying to go through and like mark things. But I do think it can get overwhelming. It just really depends on how busy you guys are going to be at your events. She does a lot of events and needs easy way to track and still use this. Oh, Melissa, you're sweet. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? I try to keep it like basic. So I feel like it's something that, you know, you can watch someone train you on how to do it, but you need to go in there and kind of mess around with it. And then if you have questions later, I'm just a message away. I do work during the week and I'm not allowed to like check my phone when I'm at work. And I hate notifications. So if I look at your message and I don't get back to you, do not take it personally. A lot of times I'm just busy and I can't message you back right away. So I will at night. And if you don't get a message back from me, please message me again. Like, don't think that I'm mad at you or something. Oh, okay. So Jessica says, how do we share this? Does it create a shareable link? And Amy also wants to know. Great question. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to click up here on this more button right here. Oh, just kidding. You're not going to click on that more button. You're going to go over here to the little gear, pink gear, and you're going to go to share list, and it says, oh, then it wants you to pick out like what your cover image is. So you have all these like different options to your cover image. I don't really care what my cover image looks like, but you could. So you can choose that. I just do whatever it defaults to. It's kind of slow. There we go. And so it's going to load. That's going to be your cover image. And then if I press this here, the little link, there it is. Copy link. And then I can put it wherever I want to put it. But remember, it has to be shared one-on-one. So what I personally do is I send out a weekly email to my customers. And why I do that is because customers in 2021 are not all on Facebook. Actually, a lot of them are moving to Instagram. A lot of them are taking social media breaks. So if you are finding yourself struggling with sales, you have to work on building your customer base outside of social media. Not saying to take yourself completely off of it, but you have to be getting to customers in some other way. So I use MailChimp and I try to do a weekly email. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks. And in my email, I have a little part where, hey, if you want to, here's my stock. I tell them right on there, flat $5 shipping. Shop my stock to see whatever I have here, plus discontinued items. People love like old bars. They love that. So I have the link right on there. They click the link and they can shop from right there. Now, other ways I've used it, I had a coworker that wanted Blue Grotto counter cleaner. And she was like, hey, do you have any Blue Grotto counter cleaner? And I was like, I think so, but let me check at home. And it was because I wanted to send her this link. I knew I had it at my house. So when I got back home, I sent her this link and I was like, hey, I do have 2 bottles in stock. Here's my link in case you want to see anything else I have. Guys, she added a 6-pack of wax and something else too. So what I'm saying is like, don't just stop at, you know, the $20 sale, send this out and then they'll be like, oh, heck, she's got Atlantic Air and pink sugarberry mint. Like, I'm just going to add me a 6-pack real quick. So also like, I'll have customers, if I'm doing follow-ups, this would be a really great time. You could be like, hey, I hope you're doing really well. I wanted to see how you're doing on your wax stash. Here is what I have in stock if you want to take a look. All you have to say. And they can browse the link if they want, or they don't have to browse the link. And we live in a society that wants instant gratification. They do not want to go to a website, a lot of them, and wait a week for their items to ship. And a week is like quick. They want an Amazon environment. They want 2-day shipping. So this is a way for those customers that drive you crazy and they're like, when's my items going to be here? When's my items going to be here? Guess what? Now they can shop through your items that you already have, and you could provide that speedy, quick delivery that they want. Did I miss the part where you include what you charge for shipping, or do you share that one-on-one? Also, when someone claims something, do you get an email letting you know? So Donna or Jessica, whoever this is, yes. In my email, it says right up there, that's $5 flat rate shipping. Honestly, like most of my customers know I have lots of customers that are all over the place. So they know I'm going to charge them shipping. I'm really generous and I do $5 flat shipping. I just eat the $3 because that's like kind of just what I do for my customers. So they know ahead of time. But that's right in the email. And then when someone claims, yes. So you get an email when someone's browsing. How cool is that? As long as they've put their information in this YouMeWho, that you get an email saying like, hey, Jody is looking at your list. So then like, let's say she doesn't check out, it will also email that says like, Jody was looking at these items and she didn't hit the checkout button. So then I can private message Jody and be like, hey, I wanted to see if like you found anything on my list. Or, hey, I saw that you were looking at this, this, and this. Can I help you, finish the checkout process? Then you get another email when they do check out, so you know to go back and send the invoice. So in your email, not in YouMeWho. Yeah, I think you can put a description on your list somewhere. I think you can put a description. Kristen asked, how do I send invoices? So I use Square, I use PayPal, or I use Venmo. I don't really like Facebook Pay because too many times it has like locked me out of my card. So those are my preferred ways. Square account, all that I have to have is their email. It sends them an email to put in their credit card information. Super easy. A lot of my older customers love Square. I use Venmo, so I'll look up how to do it. So Venmo is real easy. All you need is their Venmo username. So you can just email them back, find out like, hey, these are the options, how I can invoice you, which one works for you. And then you can square it away through email or one-on-one communications. So YouMeWho has talked about like offering an invoicing type ordeal, but they're not there yet. This is a fairly new website, I guess you could say, platform. I may need to wait till I'm done doing events so I don't get confused of items. I agree, Lisa. Like part of me is I'm going to be starting my weekly events here in, a month and a half. And I'm kind of getting like overwhelmed, but I was doing like my Google sheet during the summer with my events. So I would just have to take a day, like a few hours during the day and go through everything and update it just so I knew what I had. But it's also a great way, like, I can pull this up when I'm putting in my next bulk order and I need to use half price and free items. And I could be like, oh, I'm out of my best selling wax, so I need to order more bars of that. I wonder if you could put somewhere, didn't find anything. What are you looking for? That's a great suggestion. I guess that's kind of the benefit of sharing it one-on-one is it's not going to be like strangers necessarily shopping this. So, you could tell your customers that like, let me know if you didn't find something. Oh, I was going to show you one more thing. So when you click that gear right here again, the gear, I love this. You can sort by alphabet. Like when I go to my wax, it's all alphabetical. I love that because then it's easier when I'm going through my wax to know like, okay, what do I have or what do I don't have? Anything else? Okay, well, someone's in the chat. Well, when you guys get going doing this, if you have any questions, you just email it or message and let me know. Donna and Jessica, you got anything to add?
I'm super excited to do this. Such a game changer, especially because I do send out those emails to my customers. So this will be something easier to add. And especially like if you guys are doing open houses, and say, for instance, people still are, conscious of COVID and where they're going, a new house they're coming into. This is a great alternative to your virtual links. I know I just had an open house over the weekend and I had many people that were like, hey, I can't stop by for X, Y, and Z. I want a virtual link. So I actually went through and did a tour of everything I had available, but this would be such a great way to do it. Take a couple of minutes, update what I sold and get that link out. I love it. Thank you for sharing because I really thought this was more complex than it is. And I feel less intimidated.
The worst part is sitting down and putting everything in there. That is the worst part. And once you get through that, it's just maintenance at that point.
Amazing.
I'm going to follow up what Jessica said. A lot of the programs that we talk about kind of intimidate me and scare me because I'm not very techie, but I feel like this one's basic enough that I can figure it out. So as soon as Melissa tells me when she's going to come help me, then I'm going to go help her. We're going to get started.
And that's what I put in the chat too, that it seems technology simple, which is what I need because I am not a tech person at all. And I played with it before, like last week when we talked about doing this and already signed up for an account to try and play around with it and was still kind of like, okay, how do I add this other than adding it all? Like the tab thing, I knew nothing about tabs. Like that'll be so much easier.
Yeah, and I didn't mention either, Lisa, that once you have tabs created, so like let's say I'm adding Johnny Appleseed counter cleaner, you can select where you want that to go. So like it'll give you a drop down button and you can say like I want it to go under cleaning. If you're adding from the catalog, it is smart and already knows that obviously that's where it belongs. But if it's like something that's not in the catalog, it doesn't really know, so you can tell it where to go. So I like that. It's like easy to keep it waxed together, laundry together.
I love it. I was just sitting here thinking like, holy smokes, it's the last April for Mix It Up Monday. Can you believe we're already going into another month? Time is flying this year, you guys.
I just got my stuff together for April.
You win some, you lose some. It's fine.
The way I look at it, better late than never.
That's right. So we are going to start working on our May Mix It Up Mondays. So we will definitely be doing them the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th. We will not be doing them the 31st in honor of Memorial Day. So we're still working through some topics. So if anybody has any suggestions or ideas, please put them in the chat box because we are going to be finishing that schedule this week so we can get it out to you guys at the end of this week so you can start sharing with your teams and jotting down what you are going to sign up for. Thank you, Bre, for coming on and sharing this with us. I can say that I'm excited and it sounds like a lot of other people are as well. And I agree with Melissa. You're a really good teacher at these things. I learned MailChimp like this with you. So you just keep teaching me the things.
Well, thank you, friends.
I'll give it a few minutes, see if anybody wants to add anything in the chats on some topics. I know one thing we're going to do next month is we're going to talk Scentsy Life Balance, which I think will be good for everybody as we go into the summer. Because I think this summer is going to be a little bit more chaotic as things are opening up and we're able to do more things. So finding that balance is going to be really important before we start to juggle lots of different things.
I know someone made a suggestion of having another game night.
Mhm.
So I would like to propose that we do a scavenger hunt via Zoom.
Get writing it down. Explain SFR.
Mhm.
Like
Fun.
right now or on a call?
Well, I will say it's the last week to sign up for the $43 option with the Spirit Kit. So, Elena, if you're kind of wondering like if you should or shouldn't sign up, I can't remember if you already did or not. I'm sorry. But if you have not and you're on the fence, definitely hit me up and we'll talk about it. It's a great opportunity and I would pay the $43 because you're going to get a t-shirt, you're going to get a little box, you're going to get your ribbons, you're going to get, I think, a notebook. It's fun, it's exciting, and it helps, not being together.
I think a lot of it, I haven't signed up for it yet because I had to wait till I got paid, but it was trying to explain it to the team since, with me, it being my first year too, I didn't really know exact how to my downline. Wasn't sure how to explain it to them because I don't really know.
Okay, so what it's going to be is you're going to have 30 days of content. It's going to be like a hyped up at World Tour, basically a bigger version of World Tour. So you're going to get 30 days of breakouts, which you went to World Tour, right, Elena?
Yes, I did. Of course, I missed all the breakouts, but that's okay.
So the breakouts are awesome. Like that is my favorite part of SFR. And it's really great during COVID because before, when you went in person, you had to pick and choose who you heard from. Well, now you can hear from everyone because you have 30 days to watch those. And here's a hint, since he usually uploads them to the workstation after we're done. So you can still get to watch all the great content because there was no way in 30 days I could watch them all. But that's the really neat part. And then usually the first night there's product reveals. So usually, I don't know if it'll be Heidi and Orville, but it'll be Dan and the team. They're going to go through and they're going to show you what's coming this fall. That is my favorite part besides the breakouts. Like they showed us the fall harvest collection. They showed us the Christmas collection. They showed us new catalog items. That's really cool. And then they have like keynote speakers that come on. Yeah, what else am I missing, guys?
The incentive trip.
Oh yeah, they'll go over the incentive trip, which for the fall winter is always a big one. Usually it's over 6 months and it's usually a trip somewhere. So like last year it was Disney World. So that was really exciting.
I'm super excited. I can't wait. Especially if we're able to get the team together, even though it's just locally, but still, because I would love to meet like everybody else that I haven't met yet.
Yeah. And that's usually we get to travel somewhere really. And that's really cool to get to go in person and meet people from all over. And you get to feel like the Scentsy spirit. And it's like no other that I can even explain in words. So I would tell, if they're short on money and $43 is, a make or break it, that's okay. They can sign up for the $11 option. In the $11 option, you get all the streaming. So you're still getting the breakouts and you're still getting the sessions 1, 2, and 3. You're just not getting a kit. That's the only difference.
Gotcha.
So that might be a better investment for someone that's just getting started.
Now with the YouMeWho, after you do an event, now are you able to go in and change your quantities once you've sold stuff?
Yeah, so you can click on like edit and then you can change the quantities or you can delete things altogether.
Okay.
So it's really easy to do once you play around with it.
Well, I've got a 3-day event coming up this weekend. I was like, whew,
Yeah,
So,
you could even raise after you do that to see what you got left.
awesome. It looks like something else I need to download.
All right, anyone else got anything before we jump off?
I'm good.
All right, well, we'll share with you
Thank you,
guys
Beth.
the topic for next week soon. Until then, have an amazing end of the month. Push for those last minute orders if you haven't made it to your goal yet. And we will see you guys in May. I just thought of Justin tomorrow.
Bye. I know. I was really thinking it's gonna be May, right? That's all I have in my head right now. When you said that.
Are you doing your pictures?
Oh, I took a picture
Oh,
already.
well,
Not sure what everybody was doing, but I definitely took one.
well, now nobody was
Bree was
looking at
in a wax
you.
bar.
Oh, well.
Oh wow, candid shots are the best. Bye, guys.
Bye.